All right, let's get right into it. We've got a massive Champions League clash, Club Brugge taking on AS Monaco. Now, on the surface, this one looks like a total coin flip, right? But what if I told you a deep dive data report we've got here tells a completely different story? It points to a clear favorite, kind of hiding in plain sight. So let's get into the numbers and see what's really going on.
Hey, before we dive in, a quick favor. If you enjoy what we do, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and drop a comment. It really helps us out. Oh, and we've got a Telegram channel, the link's in the description, where we share free betting slips and analysis. Your support is what lets us keep digging deep like this.
Okay, so what's the story everyone's hearing? Well, the betting markets are basically saying this is a super tight contest. They've got Monaco as the slightest of favorites, but the general feeling is, it's anyone's game. And you can totally see why people think that. You look at Club Brugge, and yeah, they've had a couple of stumbles in their league recently. Then you look at Monaco, and they've started their League One season on absolute fire. We're talking 3 wins in their first 4 games. So that's the simple narrative, right? That's what everyone's looking at.
But what if that simple story is just wrong? What if it's misleading? See, this data report we're using, it peels back that top layer and shows us something way more interesting underneath. The numbers behind those results, they paint a picture that completely flips what we think we know about this match.
So let's start our investigation with Monaco. That strong start looks fantastic on paper, no doubt, but the report immediately throws up a huge red flag. The big question is, are these results for real? Are they sustainable? Or are they just hiding a major weakness in how they're actually playing?
To figure that out, we got to look at a really cool metric called expected goal difference, or XGD for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a performance credit score for a soccer team. It ignores the final score and just looks at the quality of the chances a team creates compared to the quality of chances they let the other team have. It basically tells us if a team is just getting lucky or if they're actually the real deal.
And this is where it gets crazy. The data shows this massive, massive gap. Monaco's actual goal difference is a nice, healthy +3, but their expected goal difference, the number that reflects how well they've actually played, it's just +0.4. That is a huge overperformance. It's basically screaming that their results are way, way better than their play deserves. They're riding a wave of good luck that, statistically speaking, just isn't built to last.
And as if that statistical weakness wasn't enough, they have some massive problems with their lineup. Monaco is going to be without 2 absolutely critical players. We're talking their starting goalkeeper, which just throws their whole defense into chaos, and their main creative engine in the midfield, Alexander Golovin. So think about that. They're seriously weakened at both ends of the field.
Okay, so that's the story on Monaco. Not as rosy as it looks. Now let's flip the script and look at Club Brugge. This is where the other half of our data story really comes into focus. Yeah, their recent league form looks a little shaky, but the numbers point to some serious strengths hiding just below the surface, especially when they play at home.
Just look at this number right here. It really says it all. In their last 17 European matches at home, Club Brugge has only lost twice. That's not just a good record, folks. That is elite. In the Champions League, their stadium is an absolute fortress, and you just can't ignore that context when you're looking at this game.
And it's not just the stats. The fans feel it too. We looked at sentiment analysis from fan forums, and they're all saying this is the best, most talented squad they've seen in maybe 20 years. But here's a fun little wrinkle. They have a deep distrust of their coach's decisions. Isn't that fascinating? It adds this layer of drama. They believe in the players on the pitch, just maybe not the guy calling the shots from the sideline.
And this chart right here, it just lays out the core difference between these two teams perfectly. Look at that expected goal difference per 90 minutes. Brugge is sitting at a dominant +0.75. Monaco, they're barely positive at +0.08. It's not even close. Brugge is just consistently creating better chances than they give up. And then look at shots on target. Brugge is getting about 5 shots on goal per game. Monaco is struggling to even get 3, which, by the way, is one of the worst rates in their entire league. That's a huge red flag for their attack.
Okay, so we've looked at the teams, but the report points out another massive variable here, a real wild card that could totally shape this game, and that is the referee. The man in the middle for this one is an Italian official named Simone Sazza.
And this is why he's so important to our analysis. Look at this chart. It shows how often he awards penalty kicks compared to the average Champions League ref. He points to the spot almost 0.6 times a match. That is nearly double the competition average. So his track record tells us we should probably expect a game with more interruptions, more yellow cards, and a much, much higher chance of a penalty kick being awarded.
All right, let's put it all together now. We started this journey with a match that everyone, all the experts, saw as a 50-50 coin toss. But as we've layered in all this data piece by piece, a totally different picture has come into view, hasn't it?
So here's the final verdict from the data report. First, Monaco is winning games, but their actual performance metrics are, well, they're pretty weak. They're overperforming. Second, they're missing two of their most important players. Third, Club Brugge has fantastic underlying numbers, and they're basically a fortress at home in Europe. And the cherry on top? We have a ref who loves to give out cards and point to the penalty spot. That whole coin flip idea we started with, yeah, that's pretty much out the window now.
So the big question is, what does this all mean for the actual game? How does the report turn all this analysis into some potential outcomes? Let's take a look at the final suggestions that come straight from putting all of this data together.
Okay, so based on everything we've seen, the report offers three main suggestions. First, and this is the one with the highest confidence, is that we're going to see a lot of cards. Over 4.5 to be specific. That's all because of our referee. Second, the report suggests that Club Brugge will get at least a draw out of this match, if not a win, thanks to their home form and Monaco's hidden weaknesses. And third, there's a good chance that both teams will end up scoring, especially with Bruges' attack and that higher risk of a penalty.
Now, we have to be super clear about this. This whole analysis is based on statistical models from the report. This is not investment advice in any way, shape, or form. Please always be responsible.
And so that leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? The data has built this incredibly compelling case that just shatters the simple surface-level story. But as we all know, soccer isn't just played on a spreadsheet. So will the numbers hold true? Will the underlying process win out? Or can Monaco somehow defy the data once again and prove all the models wrong? I guess we'll just have to watch and see. Thanks for digging into the data with us.